I remember the first time I was ever in a major accident. I was just 17 years old and I'd been driving for only about 6 months. I was on the highway to a convenience store to purchase some snacks when I was hit by a drunk driver. This was horrifying. I was so scared I didn't even get out of my vehicle. Luckily, a couple driving by saw the accident and stopped to help me. A short time after my parents and the police showed up to see what had happened. I explained to them that the other driver had swerved into my vehicle, and once the police made the determination that the other driver was intoxicated, they arrested him. My parents then took me to the emergency room and finally home. About 6 months later, after physical therapy, my mom attempted to get me to drive to my brother's house with her. This was a terrifying experience, and before we even left our driveway, we ended up switching seats so that she could drive due to my terror. Luckily, after some research, I found some tips to cope with driving phobia, and I would like to share them with everyone. One tip that drivers with driving phobia should consider is seeing a therapist to talk about the condition. Talking with a therapist can help people realize why they have a certain phobia. A therapist can also make a plan to help you deal with your phobia and eventually overcome it. This can be accomplished through a carefully constructed plan with small steps along the way. The next tip is to avoid thinking black and white. This being said, as a driver you must accept the fact that driving is naturally dangerous, but that with safe driving practices you can reduce the chances of experiencing one of the less than positive effects of driving. Another tip to consider when attempting to drive again is to take things slow. This means that you'll need to accept the fact that you may need to drive somewhere, but at the same time you can arrange other plans to get to other destinations while you're easing back into the hang of driving. An additional tip to help with any driving related phobia is to also complete a defensive driving course. By completing such a course, you can refresh your knowledge of driving safety. In conclusion, anyone suffering from a phobia can overcome the fear by taking the proper steps and dealing with the fear.